Why wisdom laughs at a man's calamity. One of the most shocking verses in the entire book of Proverbs is this: I will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. At first glance, this verse sounds harsh. It makes one ask questions such as, is wisdom really laughing? Is wisdom really mocking? What does Solomon even mean? To understand this verse correctly, we must read it in context. Because Proverbs chapter 1 is not describing people who lacked access to wisdom, it is describing people who rejected wisdom despite repeated warnings. Wisdom spoke before calamity arrived. One thing we must never forget is that before wisdom ever spoke about calamity, she first cried out publicly. In Proverbs chapter 1 verse 22 she says, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? She warned, she instructed, she corrected, she stretched out her hand, she offered guidance, but the people refused. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 24 says, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. Notice the order. First came instruction, then came rejection. Only afterward came calamity. Imagine a bridge engineer warning a village that a bridge is unsafe. For months, he says, do not keep using this bridge. It is weakening. But the people laugh. They mock him, they ignore him. One day the bridge collapses. The collapse itself became a painful confirmation that the warning was right all along. The engineer is not celebrating the disaster. The disaster is exposing the foolishness of ignoring wisdom. That is the idea behind Proverbs chapter 1. What does it mean that wisdom laughs? This is a figure of speech. Wisdom is being personified as a woman throughout Proverbs chapter 1. The point is not that wisdom enjoys human suffering. The point is that calamity often exposes how foolish it was to reject wisdom's counsel. The same wisdom that was mocked yesterday becomes vindicated today. The same warning that seemed unnecessary suddenly becomes obvious. The laughter is the triumph of truth over stubbornness. Let's talk about when people ridicule wisdom. One of the oldest human habits is mocking wise counsel. For example, when Noah warned of judgment, people laughed. Jeremiah warned Judah, but people ignored him. The prophets also warned Israel repeatedly, but the nation resisted. Even when Jesus himself warned Jerusalem, many refused to listen. The problem has never been the absence of wisdom. The problem is often the rejection of wisdom. Let's look at two real-life situations where calamity strikes whenever wisdom is ignored. Number one, a driver who ignores road signs. Imagine a driver who sees a sign saying, danger, bridge out ahead, but he says, I know what I'm doing. He speeds forward anyway. When disaster occurs, the sign was not the cause, the refusal was. Likewise, wisdom's instructions are like road signs. They exist to preserve life. Ignoring them carries consequences. Number two, a student who rejects preparation. As examination is approaching, books are made available for a student to study. Teachers warn and parents remind. Yet the student spends all his time playing. When failure arrives, it is not because the examination was unfair. The calamity was prepared long before the results were released. A sobering truth is, many calamities do not arrive suddenly. They arrive gradually in form of a neglected habit, a repeated compromise, a rejected correction, and a dismissed warning. Over time, these small decisions accumulate into small consequences. The tree does not fall the day it begins rotting. The collapse simply reveals a process that has been happening for years. Now, here are three reasons why wisdom's voice matters. Number one, wisdom sees what foolishness cannot see. Number two, wisdom recognizes consequences before they arrive. Number three, foolishness only recognizes consequences after they arrive. Think of a weather forecaster warning about an approaching storm. The wise prepare before the rain falls, while the foolish prepare after the flood begins. Now, here are 5 applicable lessons to learn from this subject. Number 1, take corrections seriously. Many people pray for success. Few appreciate correction. Yet, correction is often one of God's greatest gifts. Number 2, small warnings prevent big disasters. A minor adjustment today may prevent a major crisis tomorrow. Number 3, don't confuse delayed consequences with no consequences. Just because judgment does not arrive immediately does not mean wisdom was wrong. Number 4, learn from other people's mistakes. Wisdom allows you to learn through instruction. Foolishness insists on learning through pain. Number 5, respond while wisdom is speaking. One of the themes of Proverbs chapter 1 is urgency. There is a time to listen, a time to respond, a time to change direction. The wise act before calamity arrives. The good news hidden in the chapter is this. Many people focus on Proverbs chapter 1 verse 26 and miss Proverbs chapter 1 verse 23 that says, before wisdom ever spoke about calamity, she gave an invitation that reads, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. That is the heart of wisdom. Wisdom prefers repentance over disaster, correction over destruction, and instruction over suffering. The warning exists before wisdom wants to save. In conclusion, the ridicule and calamity of wisdom is not about wisdom enjoying human pain. It is about the tragic consequences of repeatedly rejecting wise counsel. When people ignore warnings, despise correction, and mock instruction, calamity eventually arrives and proves wisdom right. The saddest words in life are often, I should have listened. May we never wait until consequences teach what wisdom already offered freely. May we listen while wisdom is calling. May we change while correction is available. May we learn through instruction rather than through unnecessary pain. For wisdom's greatest desire is not to laugh at calamity. It is to prevent calamity altogether. As regards what wisdom says in Proverbs chapter 1 verse 24 that reads, because I have called and ye refused. I like to say, the wise person does not wait for consequences to become a teacher. He listens while wisdom is still speaking. My question for you today is this. Is there a warning, correction, or piece of counsel that you have been ignoring? One that wisdom may be urging you to take seriously today? Please leave your answers and thoughts in the comments. God bless you.